We have been joined by a group of people who are misfits and called snake oil salesmen for no apparent reason. The good doctor here has been on our show. How many times have you been on the show?
4 now.
4 times, talking about the health care that is coming, that is a nightmare. And almost everything you said was going to happen has now happened.
Yeah, in fact, the first time you had me on your show was 3 years ago, and when no one else in the mainstream media would have me on. And it was when...
You know what? Nothing's changed.
No, that's right. No one does, other than you.
Yeah.
But it really came down to the reason I think I'm here is because I had the audacity to read both parts of Obamacare. The first part that was hidden in the stimulus bill, where all the rationing boards were, and the second part, which stripped more freedom and liberty from every American than any other piece of legislation, and I believe in our country's history.
So where do we go from here now, Rick, seeing that you let us all down?
Yeah, sorry about that. But I had fun.
I mean, you could have got it done.
I had fun eating Twinkies. I mean, that's all I did last year was just run around eating
We've
Twinkies.
got Beggs, we've got Babe's Chicken, we have Chick-fil-A and Twinkies.
Well, you know, look, we just got to keep fighting. I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, we're in a very bad situation with Congress being, as I was informed, less popular than cockroaches now in America.
That's real, by the way.
That's real, and how do you fight a president with a group of people that nobody has any confidence in? And that's where everybody in this room really comes in. I mean, Congress isn't going to be the solution. Washington isn't the solution. And I think what you're doing and what so many other people around here are doing is fighting on different fronts and basically calling it what it is, which is Republicans over a long period of time have bought into the entitlement mentality, bought into middle-class entitlements, and have continued to grow Washington, D.C. And I don't really see anything going on in Washington right now on the Republican side that leads me to believe that they're going to change their tune. So the action has to come from outside.
Which is you're a mayor of a small town.
I am.
And you just built a library without any city money.
Yes.
And I told you before we went on the air, I said people have got to start counting on somebody because we don't count on anybody in Washington anymore.
Well, I can tell you, I believe in the things that made this country great. I mean, I listened to the president's speech today, and I was a little disheartened.
Who did? Did anybody here listen to the speech?
You have to.
Yeah. Okay.
There are a few of us that still, listen and try and make sense of what's happening. And I have to tell you, he talked about a poor girl being able to stand up and say, I live in America, so I should have all of these opportunities. And I was that girl. My parents had nothing. And I had parents that instilled principles in me. I had a community that really pushed me and helped me gain my confidence. I'm here not because of Washington, but because I had a community that stood up for everything that is good and right in this country, which is hard work.
I mean, I hate to say this, but he was that little girl too.
Right.
I mean, he just fails to recognize it, that he grew up in the same in the same situation. I mean, he should be the biggest flag waver. Let me go to Foster.
Well, I'm excited because I look at this as a James 1 verse 2 opportunity. Be joyful, my brethren, when various adversities enter your life, because to build your endurance and complete your faith, you'll be complete, lacking in nothing.
You're in the wrong table.
Yeah, just on the bottom.
Bible thumpers are over there. You're a snake oil salesman. How did you get here?
But if you look at what happened, it's a real opportunity to really get excited about what we can do on a local level. And I'm launching an initiative called Left, Right, Forward March, to get people of disparate political perspectives from the right and from the left to work on a common project. It might be fresh water in Africa. It might be increasing international adoptions. There's a fellow named Philip Howard who's trying to get rid of regulations. He's written a book, Life Without Lawyers. And a lot of his supporters
wait.
are on the left. Okay. And a lot of his supporters are on the left. So my notion is, let's figure out what the left wants to do that is consistent with what we want to do. Look at patient rights. There's a woman named Deborah Peel who's got a lot of people on the left who they don't want the government to have their medical records.
Well, we're doing something with, like Agenda 21. We're working with somebody who's very far left, who has the same agenda. The secret here is how do you trust the people? I don't even trust some of the people on the right. How do you trust the people on the left?
Yeah.
Dana?
If I had the answer to that question, I'd sell it. No.
I mean, but you can. I mean, but we are. I mean, here we are
I
at an
know.
inauguration, and he just put his hand on the Lincoln Bible today. And that Lincoln Bible, when he took the oath of office, he said, "With malice toward none, and charity toward all, let us bind the wounds of this great nation." That's what needs to happen: bind the wounds. But how do you do it with people who are not being honest with you?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think this goes back to the root. I mean, I wish I had an answer for you. I don't, because I'm in the same boat. I look around. There are people on the right that I don't trust. How am I going to trust people on the left? Especially when it's, you know, the people who you are in the trenches with. Those are people who you should be able to count on. I think the right is lost right now. Conservatives, I think, are sort of lost right now. Conservatives are looking for something to get behind, and we need to stop looking for something and someone to get behind and do it ourselves.
May I? Because I think I'm going over to this table. Let me throw it back to Jeff, but I want to pick up. Am I going over to Bible Thumpers next? Bible Thumpers are going to pick it up right there, because I don't think the right is lost. I think the GOP is lost.